Good morning, everyone. This is the market update for Buy Sell Short for Saturday, November 21st. It's been a month or so since we actually did a video. It's been really quiet over the last couple of months, actually longer than that. Small caps have essentially been dead, except for the robot stocks that we've been seeing. And, there's just has been a lot of nonsense in the market. But we are entering the best time of the year for small and micro cap stocks and starting to see what looks to be an end of the tax law selling. I've talked about this in the chat room quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, how it was my belief that we're going to see an early end to tax selling this year on the majority of stocks, just given the beatdown we've seen across, the entire sector over the last few weeks. And that given that we were likely to see an early January pop. We had a similar thing happen 4 or 5 years ago. We actually caught a nice big gain into year end. And actually looking at my notes for last year, this was the week as well last year where things really started to pick up and we saw some nice action, some speculative money start to come in. Still not overly committed. A lot of traders are just content in this market to chase stuff. They're afraid to buy bottoms. All they'd rather do is try and get 5 or 10 cents off a stock that's up 50%. That's been part of the frustration over the last several months, really. But I see that coming possibly to an end near term. Here's the Dow chart. You can see right here we had that huge sell-off in August and then the retest in October. And this V shape you see here tends to be a pretty bullish setup, and it's something you see in bull markets. Now, there's a lot of chatter out there about the end of the market, the top is in, etc., etc. You don't usually hear that kind of chatter when the top is in. Tops come when no one expects it. This is the video or the chart I had done last month before that, on the sell-off, and you can see we're getting pretty close to that big breakout, and I think if we don't break it in December, we're likely to break it in January. Now, there's a little caveat to that. It all depends on what the Fed does. Fed seems very determined to raise interest rates, so that's the big wild card there. One day the market wants the Fed to raise interest rates, the next day the market does not want it to raise interest rates, and it's just a wall of worry we continue to climb. But here is the 15-minute chart as well on the Dow, and you can see we have this similar very bullish V formation, and 18K looks like the bust and nut zone here on the Dow, and we've got a holiday shortened week coming up. Volumes tend to be a little bit muted during this week, but we tend to see a lot of crack action, and that's what we're going to be looking for. We haven't talked a lot about the Dow Transports. And the Dow Transports and the small cap index all have one thing in common. Breaking out of triangles here, but just below their 200-day moving average. Now, we just saw a positive MACD cross on the Dow Transports. So this break, if it comes next week or in the next few days, could be pretty significant for the market. Now, the transports are still 10%. Actually more than 10%, 11, 12% under their all-time highs that they hit last November. And like the vast majority of small caps, the transports have been kind of in a bear market over the last year. I believe 2016 is going to be the year of the small cap and the year of the micro cap. It's been about a year plus since we've seen some real mania in that sector. And a couple of reasons why I say that. With interest rates going up and the global economy still sucking, and if the Fed actually does raise interest rates, that's going to hammer a lot of the global Dow component stocks just on the dollar conversion, and we're going to see a lot of issues overseas. When that happens, U.S.-based small cap companies usually outperform, and especially after the sluggish year we've seen in those, it can only get better in small cap land. Looking at the Russell chart. Here's the Russell chart. This was the Head and Shoulders breakdown we were looking for early in the summer. It's come to fruition, and you can see here we are underneath the 200-day moving average 12. We're about 40 or 50 points under that level, but there is an indice we're going to start paying more attention to when I do these videos. It's the IWC, Microcap Index Fund. Doesn't trade a whole lot of volume, but we're microcap traders for the most part, so let's keep an eye on this one. And you can see the clear resistance levels here. Breakout 200-day moving average 77. I mean, you can see the 200-day moving average has essentially flatlined a lot of the indice charts. And what that tells me is we are on the cusp of a big, big move. I'm thinking it's going to be to the upside. Always a downside possibility, but I believe we're on the cusp of a big move up in these stocks. Now, over the last couple of months, we've been playing a lot of options in the large cap stocks. Disney has been an absolute monster for us. We just crossed our third in the money winner on this stock in the last 3 or 4 weeks. We jumped into the 110s when the stock was back here at 108. We exited those. We jumped into the 115s. We're still riding those. We're in the 120s, and this week we added the 125s. Now you can see here, this W formation is a very, very bullish formation. I project a move to 130, could even be more. Star Wars is going to be bigger than anyone thinks. I just went to Disneyland with the family this week, and let me tell you, Disney is not a place for poor folks no more. Everything is going high end. They had a thing there, this cheap 10-cent plastic name tag written in Star Wars language, and they were lining up for 2 hours to get this thing and paying $10 for it. So the pricing power Disney has right now and the hype that's out there should really start to build beginning next week. So we're going to be rocking and roll. Buy all dips is all I got to say. On the Disney calls, though, if we get another couple of bucks on this week, we're going to roll out. The plan is to roll out of the 115s. Believe it or not, the out-of-the-money calls are doing better for us, bigger gains than the in-the-money calls. So we'll give a little bit more time on the 115s, and then out we go possibly to the 130s. We also saw a golden cross this week, so all systems go. Netflix, another incredible mover for us. Actually, this stock, always have it on your watch list. Just from playing it over the last 3 or 4 months, this is one of the best volatility, volume options plays I've seen out there. Very, very expensive at the moment. I'm hoping for another pullback back under 110 in the next couple of weeks for the inevitable move. I mean, this stock is going to be probably 200 plus next year. Star Wars goes to Netflix in January. Keep that in mind. So the next big dip we see on this one, I'm going to be eyeing 130 calls. Hopefully if the stock drops down to the 110 or under. Blast from the past, CIDM, one of my biggest disaster calls in quite a few years, and I'm still long this puppy because I believe and a day trader usually don't go together. I kept this one as a lesson, but I'm also committed. They're about to announce a big deal. This will definitely be a January popper play. We had pretty big news this week, and they sold it off. A lot of manipulation going on in this stock, but I'm still holding for my $1.50 to $2 long-term target on this one. I added a bit more myself this week to bring my average down a tad. I'm still super red on this one. See what happens in the next 2 to 3 weeks as, tax letters finally wind up on this stock. Dara, one of our buyout plays, merger. If you had your head in the sand this week, it was craziness out there with shell companies going bonkers like K-Bio. Just absolute insanity out there. But this kind of insanity is actually a good thing because it brings the speculative money back to the microcap stocks in a big way. Now, Dara, their vote for their merger is December 2nd or 3rd, $1.08 minimum. I mean, we're getting an 18% discount just to sit on this one. I'm actually planning on sitting on shares once the merger goes through because this UK bio that merged, this situation reminds me a lot of RGDO where they merged with a bio that had some good news coming out and the stock went up 300 or 400% afterwards. So that's my plan on this one. Could get a lot of buyers and chasers on a breakthrough 94, so near-term trade opportunity exists here as well. LPTN, a potential shell play like K-Bio. pretty rock bottom support on this one. We need a break. You know, the chasers, the way this market is right now, will come in over 25 cents. We're in a little bit early and waiting for them. So, you know, that's it for the video, guys. Just wanted to touch base. Time to start the videos rolling again. Our kind of market is coming back, so get ready for it and have an awesome weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.